You're going to be going to touristy places, and you know what's best for Pecos Cove. Apply that knowledge when you're going to some other place. You know, use that knowledge. Okay, let's go to the next one here. Paris. I've been to Paris. I've traveled to Europe quite a bit, and I've been to Paris a number of times. And in 2022 was taking my granddaughter to Europe because we're going to do the Camino, and planning on spending 5, 6 weeks on the Camino. But she was only able to go through 3 weeks. So we did 3 weeks, a little bit of time in Paris, and I took her on the Camino. And then she had to fly back home, and I was still over in Europe. So I spent more time in Paris than I thought I would. But let's go next one.
Wow.
Everybody's seen the Eiffel Tower, right?
Nice shots. In pictures.
And we've all seen hundreds of pictures of Pecos Cove too. Trying to come up with a unique idea is a challenge. It's a challenge in any place. But what I did with Paris, I just walked along the waterfront along the Seine there. And the waterfront in the evening is a very, very interesting place. Next slide.
Oh, wow.
It's the city of love.
Oh, wow.
And you'll see all sorts of things with Will You Marry Me and stuff like that. I'll get you to go to the next one. All sorts of stuff is happening. And along the Seine there, around Pecos, around Eiffel Tower is very, very interesting. And I highly recommend checking out places around the place where you're going, so you can see stuff.
These doctored? Like,
No.
Photoshop.
No.
Or not Photoshop, the other one.
Lightroom?
Lightroom? Well, yeah, I process them all in Lightroom, but I'm not a major processor. Like, I do some stuff, but
Couple
not
of tweaks.
Yeah.
more in the minor range. I'll get you to go to the next one here. So I got out photo pills to figure out when the sun was going to come up, and I had this idea. Over on the left here is a place called Trocadero Square, which is a famous view of the Eiffel Tower, and I thought that'd be a great spot to take my morning shot. It was the wrong place. It was totally the wrong place. But because I've been walking along the Seine the night before and looking at some of the other places, over on this side of the Eiffel Tower, I'm standing on a bridge, and this bridge had sort of a balcony on it, like a large balcony that was 10-15 feet across. And when I went there in the morning, I went there for sunrise, of course, and that bridge happened to be the right place to catch the sun. And then, of course, I had a little bit of luck to go with it. It's always nice to have a little bit of luck to go with your pictures.
Yeah.
And then there's only one other photographer there. There's 3 of us there all together, 2 photographers and 1 other person. So, I didn't have to fight for space or anything. And
Wow.
I like morning photography because there's me and usually the other person. Or if I go down on the waterfront, there's me and the birds fishing down in the water. I don't have to fight with tourists and stuff like that. So I like sunrises and stuff. Let's go next one. Now the other thing, when I was in Paris, like I do research and try to find out what the events are and what the local events are, and I always do research on that. And to tell you the truth, my research doesn't work out very well. I find either the date's wrong, I'm not going to be there on that date, or the other thing is I don't find out about the event. And what was happening in Paris during a summer solstice is their solstice music festival. And in Paris, they had 320 venues on the go on summer solstice, 320 music venues. So you're going to find the music you like somewhere. And the other thing they do in summer solstice is the metro is free all night long. The metro runs all night and it's free. And that's great. This was an excellent blues band and this matched up with my music tastes, All right, next one. Now, the other thing with these 320 venues, they're all little small concerts, you know, and there's maybe 100 or 200 people at each one of these venues. So you can get right up to the band, you can get right up to the people and get really, really close to them. In a major concert, you can't do that. And so this was great. I was able to get up close to people and so on. And the reason why I found out about the summer solstice is a place where I was staying. People were talking about it, and I started talking to people, and I started learning more about the summer solstice concerts. Next one. They had ragtime music. It was another one of the musics, and again, you know, I was only 5 feet away from the guy, so it's nice. I could take excellent close-up pictures. Next one.
Wow.
This is not my type of music, but it was my type of photo.
Yeah.
And again, I was able to get up sort of on the stage and behind them, which is in a regular concert, you'd never be able to do that, you know. So I take advantage of these situations and go ahead. And in the cases like this, people help you get to these places, you know. Oh, just come with me, I'll show you where to go. You know, take advantage of all that. Okay, next one. And then later in the night, there's more stuff. And this band here is playing, and the guy here was, their lead singer was a black guy, and he had like 300 women in front of him dancing with him in front of him. And I go, you know, he's really impressing the women. And then there's one guy out there too, and the women were all in time with the music, and the one guy was dancing
All over the place.
some different time thing. I don't know. I had some pictures of him, but I didn't bring any tonight. Next one. Mont Saint Michel. You've probably heard of Mont Saint Michel, and this is a big one on my bucket list. This is something a place I've been wanting to go to for years. And I rented a car and took the car out of Paris. I rented the car at a downtown rental place because it's €100 cheaper than renting the car at the airport. Put the location into my GPS, and the GPS took me through that huge roundabout at the Arc de Triomphe that's 6 lanes wide.
Jeez.
Scared the shit out of me. But I realized when I was in the roundabout, it wasn't that bad actually. You know, I was worrying a whole lot more than I needed to. I'm just glad it.
It's a rental car.
It's a rental car.
Yeah.
So just relax.
Yeah.
All right, next one.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So you've probably all seen pictures of this.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it?
Never heard of it.
Oh, it's a very famous monastery
Wow.
in Normandy and Paris.
Wow.
And when I went there, you know, I was planning, you know, I was looking at where's the light going to be and where's the light coming from, and the light wasn't coming right from the places I wanted it to be coming from. I talked to the guy at the hotel and I says, how's this place lit up at night? He didn't know. I don't know why he didn't know how the place was lit up, because he works there. Yeah, all he had to do is go to his back deck and take a look, but he had no clue, so he was useless.
Oh my God.
You know, so that didn't help. So this picture is okay in my opinion,
Yeah.
but let's go to the next one. Again, I used photo pills, and I figured out, you know, where the sun was going to rise and set and stuff like that, which was in the wrong damn places. I had to take a little walk to get to this picture, a little 6-kilometer walk to get to this location, because I had to cross the river and walk on the other side of the river to kind of get, you know, where there'd be some light on the building. So that walk, in my opinion, was worthwhile. I thought it was a worthwhile walk because I liked the way the light
That's
turned out in this
amazing.
one. All right, next one. I wanted to get it lit up beautifully at night, and this one is not bad, but my hotel guy, if he knew what he's talking about, he would have told me to get more over this way.
Yeah.
You know, and if I was over on this side of the building, I would have probably gotten it better
Yeah.
lit up. So he was not a good source of information, but you know, still not a bad shot.
Oh, it's
But
beautiful.
part of it there, I stayed there 2 nights because the first night the weather was not quite the weather I wanted, and then the second night. Now, when I was taking pictures here, you know, I take the picture and you know, we all take a look, see how the picture goes. I look in the picture and there'd be a fine line in my pictures, and I wonder what the hell's wrong with my camera? Why is there a damn fine line in my pictures?
Yeah, really.
Let's go next one. Okay. In a minute. This is, I walked over to Mont Saint Michel. I'm staying at a hotel just the other side of the causeway, and it's a 2-kilometer walk across the causeway. But I went over there at 6 a.m. Again, another morning. This is at 6 a.m. Here's me and one other photographer at 6 a.m. Let's go to the next one. Same location at noon.
Jeez.
Okay. So which time is best?
6 a.m.
6 a.m., yeah.
Wow.
It's like Pecos Cove at 6 a.m., you know,
Jeez.
versus noon at Pecos Cove.
Yeah.
Or the waterfront at 6 a.m. versus the waterfront at noon, you know? Okay, next one.
Oh, wow.
This was the line I was seeing.
Oh, okay.
And this guy here, his name was Nathan Pollan. Again, I didn't know about him. I just looked up and said, I'm trying to figure out what the hell the line is. And the other thing too, the hotel I was staying at, there's a big crane the other side of the hotel, huge crane, way up in the air. And there was no construction site. And I wondered, what the hell they got the crane sitting there for, you know? Okay, next one.
That's what it was for.
Oh my
Oh my
goodness.
God.
This guy did 2.2 kilometers. There's a crane that was beside my hotel.
Oh my gosh.
And he had walked from the crane to the monastery at really early in the morning when there was no wind.
Oh my.
And then he tried to walk back. But as you know, usually there's no wind first thing in the morning, and later on in the morning you start to get some wind. And on the way back, and it was too windy, and he got blown off the line there at one point. He had safety gear on, but he got blown off the line, and so a couple minutes later he's hanging underneath the line, and he gave up on his attempt to get back. But he set a record that day, 2.2 kilometers, the longest
Highlight.
high line, yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
And I didn't know about that, but again, that was a hell of a nice, again, I was a little bit lucky that day, you know, to see something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's a
be
good
prepared.
picture.
Maybe some days you get lucky. Okay, next one. Utah. I went to Utah in the spring, and one thing I'd like to comment on, in Europe, I always feel like the big guy, you know? When I went to Utah and I'd stop in at the gas stations along the interstates, I just felt like a regular sized guy, or sometimes even a small guy, which surprised the hell out of me. All right, next one. This is Delicate Arch in Arches National Park in Utah. A very famous place. It's like another place like Peggy's Cove, as you can see. There's tons of people and stuff like that. I went there at 6 in the morning because I was going to get a great sunrise shot.
Wrong spot.
Wrong time of day for Delicate Arch. The sun does not light it up in a nice way at 6 a.m. in the morning. So I went there in the evening to get my beautiful evening shot with the 100 people. And then next one. A little patience and just a little wee touch of editing. I only had to edit 2 people out of that picture. And then it was getting later in the evening, and again waiting for that sunset shot, that gorgeous sunset shot. I'm still waiting for it. It didn't happen. We got some clouds right at sunset. Next one. But one of the things that's happening at the national parks down in the States is they're starting to do timed entry, and you got to book a month ahead of time the time that you're going to enter the park. And how the hell do you know when you're going to get there?
Yeah, really.
Yeah. But if you go before 7 a.m. or if you go after 4 p.m., you can enter at any time, you know. So again, sunrise and sunsets is good times to go there. So this one, I stayed after dark. It had beautiful night skies,
Where are the dotted lines?
Space station.
a plane,
Oh.
you know. Could have edited it out, I guess. I had other pictures. But the one thing I liked was there's still a few cars driving through the park, and the cars every now and then a car would light up this rock here. So I took advantage of that. I used, I saw the cars coming along. I saw how it was lighting up the rock, so I took advantage of that. I found a good spot, and then took advantage of that light to light up that balancing rock. So sometimes just
Cool.
observing what's going on in the neighborhood is going to help you out. Okay, next one. Now, another thing happened there. I was staying in Moab for Arches National Park, and I did not know that it was Jeep Week. I was going to go there a few days earlier, but the weather forecast was for a sandstorm, and I'd never experienced a sandstorm before. I don't know a damn thing about sandstorms. So I decided I wouldn't go to Moab the day of the sandstorm. So I went down to Page, Arizona, and I booked a slot canyon tour, and it got canceled because of that sandstorm, which was extremely annoying because I've always wanted to do a slot canyon. I tried to do the George Fraser slot canyon here in Nova Scotia, but I'm the wrong age to do that. I don't have the flexibility and stuff anymore to do that. So it happened to be Jeep Week in Moab, and there's hundreds of people driving their Jeeps and stuff. So again, a little bit of luck in that sense, but the problem is hotels that week were $400 a night,
Oh my God.
which is a little bit out of my range. So I stayed in a hostel instead of staying in a hotel, because I stayed in lots of hostels in Europe, when I was walking the Caminos, so I had hostel experience. So, I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. Let's go to the next one. Now, one of the things there, the guy, when I stay in at the hostel, the guys say you got to go to Potato Salad Hill. So I went to Potato Salad Hill, and it wasn't a very big hill, but you can see what the hill is like, and there's a lot of people there trying to take their Jeeps up that hill and other 4x4 things, play toys. These guys had a lot bigger budget than I got for play toys. This guy here knew what he was doing. He had no problem getting up there at all. For people that are new to this, there's a lot of people there that had a lot of experience, and they had trucks with winches and tow trucks and stuff there. So if you had trouble, you could get some help. There's no problem. Next one. This guy here, when he come here, everybody said, "Watch this guy! Watch this guy!" Why? Why do you think? This guy here would not listen to anybody.
Oh, yeah.
So
He
flipped
wouldn't get
over.
any help from anybody. He wouldn't let them, but he wanted to try to get up that damn hill. Next one.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Next one.
Jeez.
Next one.
Oh, God.
Next one.
Oh my God.
Holy crap.
Finally, he accepted help, but the tow truck had to come and get him at that point.
Oh my God.
Wow.
So
Lord.
when you're out there photographing, sometimes it's worthwhile to accept a little help, But this was highly entertaining. If it wasn't for the guys in the hostel telling me about this location, I would not know anything about it.
Wow.
And it was the best part of that day, Again, a little bit of luck listening to somebody.
Jeez.
All right, next one.
Wow.
These are the folks I met at the hostel. And a lot of them are staying there because they're seasonal workers and stuff like that. So they're staying in the hostel because something about the $400 a night is impacting their. And they were going out on a walk. They were going out on a moonlight walk. So I went along with them. We went out in the moonlight walk, and I said, "I'm going to set up my camera. Let's take some pictures." And so I set up my camera from my remote, and we had a little fun. The advantage to the hostel is it's a more social atmosphere. It's a lot more social atmosphere. So that's the advantage to it. There's other disadvantages too, but when you don't want to pay $400 a night, this worked out pretty good for me. Got some great photos like this. Okay, next one. in 2021, well, there's a volcano erupting this year in Iceland, and in the same area, about 3-4 kilometers away, one erupted in 2021 as well. And I was talking to one guy in Iceland. He took us on a tour, and he says, "Oh, that's the tourist volcano." He lived near a volcano called Katla, and Katla's got a glacier on top, and when it blows, it wipes out the roads and wipes out the bridges and everything, and you run for your life. But this volcano, anybody know how to pronounce that? I'm not going to try. I practiced several times before tonight, and it wasn't going well. So, but this is the tourist volcano, and you can walk to it. And I want to show you my pictures from the volcano.
Oh, what?
Okay.
No, back up here again for a minute.
Whoops.
No, just back up for a sec. You got to go with the story with the blank slide here for a sec.
Okay.
So these are my photos from Iceland. When we went to the volcano, there's about a 6-kilometer walk to the volcano, and the walk was, in one place is up to a hill, and at the top of the hill, Iceland's really organized when it comes to volcanoes. They had a webcam up there, and they had a cell tower and stuff up there, extremely well organized. It's also highly weather dependent when you can go to a volcano as well too, because the wind direction affects where you can go, because you got dangerous gases coming out of the volcano, so it really restricts where you can go. Coming down the volcano, I come down by the lava flows, and the lava flows, you can feel the heat even when you're 200 meters away from it. You can feel the heat. And one woman I talked to, she had been wearing short sleeve shirts, and she went up to the lava to take pictures with her friends, and she roasted her arms.
Jeez.
So you're like a chicken on a rotisserie there if you're not dressed properly. And the trail down by the lava, it changes every 2 or 3 days because the lava keeps covering over the trail. So the trail's always rough and rocky and stuff. And by the time I got back to our camper van, I was extremely tired. And then we were going to Westman Island, so we took the ferry across to Westman Island. By the time I got to Westman Island, I could not find my camera. I had no idea where my camera was. I don't know if I left it at the volcano, if it was stolen, if somebody stole it on the ferry or something like that. So I lost my camera. In the next 2 days, I talked to the police and the different places and the officials at the volcano. Nobody saw it, so I lost it. So let's go to the next one now.
Oh.
But I took some video with my phone, which was a good thing. Hit it again. This is the equivalent of the black rocks. I'll tell you more about that in a sec.
Only one good whip.
They're crazy.
Holy crap.
Yeah, so like it's like a huge waterfall down there, the lava flowing down there. And if you can just backtrack one.
Seems the back arrow.
Back arrow there, just hit the back arrow. Want to go up, just want to show you where those people were standing again. Oh, okay, just come ahead again. Just stop there. Right here, and I've taken quite a few pictures of these people, by the way. You can see how the lava is flowing down there. Huge amount of lava flowing down there. There's also a stream of lava starting on this side, and there's some lava coming up behind them. That's why I say it's equivalent of the black rocks, because that lava was starting to flow on this side of those people. And if that lava had kept flowing, the only way for them to get out of there would have been by helicopter. So they certainly have black rock situations in
Wow.
other places too.
It's crazy.
You know, but still, if you ever get a chance to go to a volcano, I highly recommend it, as long as it's a tourist volcano, not the other type of volcano. All right, next one. So, oh, the other way, yeah. Just hit it. again there. I still got a lot of pictures with my
Phone.
iPhone, and iPhones nowadays are pretty good actually. And they, of course, they just announced new upgrades there yesterday, and like they're stuff they're talking about yesterday was 48 megapixels.
This is 48 megapixels.
Yeah. So you can get pretty decent quality on an iPhone nowadays, and I gotta admit, iPhones are better than I thought they were.
Yeah, they are.
Because this time I was forced to use it, you know?
Yeah.
So, definitely, an iPhone is certainly a worthy thing to use. It's all about composition anyways.
That's right.
You want to get the best composition and tell the story. It doesn't matter what the hell you take pictures with.
Yeah.
So this is very famous waterfalls on here, and then we've been to Iceland several times, and first trip you go, you're able to walk out to here and just sort of stand on the Black Rocks equivalent. It's fenced off this time. We weren't allowed to go there anymore. One thing in Iceland, there's very little handrails and very little fencing and stuff like that. You are totally responsible for your own stupidity.
Yeah.
Cape Split comes to mind.
Cape Split, yes. It's exactly like Cape Split.
Yeah.
There's no guide rails. All right, next one. But something happened because of this problem with losing my camera. In my photo bags, I had Apple AirTags in each one of my photo bags and my luggage and stuff, so I could track where the bag was and where my luggage was. But I didn't lose my camera bag. I lost the damn camera, which was highly annoying. So I found out about the Dream Rig team at Small Rig, and I said, well, what about putting Apple AirTag inside the tripod plate on the camera? A couple reasons for that, so that it's always with your camera, and B, it's not likely a thief is going to notice the Apple AirTag when it's embedded in the plate. So this is the prototype one, because I was talking to the Dream team at Small Rig, and I suggested this idea, and they said, well, send us a CAD drawing. I've been learning a little bit about CAD for 3D printing and woodworking and stuff that I do, but I'm not very good at it. And that scared the shit out of me. How the hell do I make a CAD drawing of this? Anyways, I figured it out and I sent it to them, and I put a little note in there. I do not know what I'm doing. And they sent it back to me, and this is all aluminum over there, and when we were testing, the range on it wasn't very good. And then I sort of cut that hole through it and then put a little piece of plastic in there. And I give it, like every iPhone on the planet can track the location of those AirTags. So you got 1 billion devices tracking the location of your camera if you lose it. Cool. So for test purposes, I give this one to a friend of mine who had an Android phone, so he wouldn't be tracking his location. So we put it on an Android phone, and we run some testing for a week, and I was able to track every outing that he went on that week. I could always find out where he was and where he was going and stuff. So we knew that it worked really well, and then shared this information with Small Rig. And it only took me 2 weeks to get that prototype back from them, which surprised the hell of me, because they're in China, and it only took me 2 weeks to get the prototype back from them. I can't imagine a company here getting something back to me in 2 weeks. It just absolutely amazed me. So this is the final version that they did, and they made some changes, and we took this out, put an Allen screw, so again it'd be difficult to remove from the camera and stuff like that. And it went up for sale there in December. It's sold a hell of a lot now, and they pay a little commission on it, but it's not enough to quit my day job. I'm retired.
Huh.
But
So you invented something.
yeah, I invented something, but enough's coming from the commission that I can buy a nice lens and stuff like that, you know. So what I would suggest is, if you have ideas for things, talk to the Dream team at Small Rig, and then
Wow.
my other part of this 30-second advertisement is this is available at B&H and Amazon and Small Raven. It's easy to buy. But anyway, so that's the good thing that come out of that, my misfortune there in Iceland. So sometimes you can turn things around. All right, next one. So, any questions?
No, I,
Yeah, getting back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Why is tripods so, can't use them here, there, and everywhere? Like, can't use them in churches or museums?
Well, with the museums, I think the situation there is that they don't want people making reproductions of the artwork and selling it. I think that's the reason that
Yeah.
Well,
museum
yeah.
There's another reason when you have a big tripod and
people.
they're
Yeah.
clumsy. They're people, and you may just swipe the vase or whatever from the pedestal. I mean, it's just like
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Many
think that's the other thing
reasons.
is I don't want you tripping people or interfering with the flow of traffic. Because went to the Louvre with my granddaughter, you know, and there's 14,000 people went to the Louvre that day. You know, so there's just a huge flow of people in some places. You go to other parts of the Louvre and there's 2 people. And if you go to the Mona Lisa, there's 500 people standing in front of the Mona Lisa. And you want to wait for 500 people to see the Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa's only small,
It's-
you know.
So, prime lens or telephoto?
Well, what I've been doing is I've been traveling light. So this is an 18 to 135,
Okay.
and it's pretty good quality for a zoom. It's not as good a quality as as a prime lens, but I can walk 120 kilometers with this. You know, and in Europe I'm often walking 5 to 10 kilometers every single day. You know, because in Europe I walk a lot more in Europe than I do here. You know, because we tend to drive here, and in Europe you're more likely to take the metro and walk over in Europe. You know, so that's why, and I'm getting old. You know, I don't want to carry stuff anymore. You
I
know?
found that if you have like a 70 to 200 and you have like a 24 to 70 something, right?
Yeah.
You hardly ever use a zoom because everything is, you want wide views of buildings and things in the museums, and you tend not to use your zoom as much as
Yeah.
you think you're going to use it.
But I brought my 2 camera kits. I brought my big camera kit and I brought my little travel camera kit, and you can compare the weight and
Yeah.
tell me what you think. And the other thing too is that I got a travel tripod with my other kit, you know, and it's the regular high type, you know. And me, I never extend the center post. I just don't extend the center post because I figured they just wobble, so I don't use the center post. And this one had a center post too, but I just took it off. But what I find is this thing is like it's pretty good. It's not quite as good as a big tripod, but then I don't usually go high. And then if I need to go higher, I do things like this. I put it on a table, you know, or I put it on a park bench, or I hang it off a gate or a fence. The other thing I like in this too is it's got spiked feet on it, and I just got to pop off the rubber tips. And I wish my other tripods had that, because my other tripods you got to get a wrench out to change to the
Yeah.
spiked tips. It's just a pain in the ass, you know. But you know, I brought my gear, and you're welcome to take a look at it and stuff. And then they both had the tripod plates with the air tags in them too, if you want to check that out. But anyways, that's what I do. And the other thing too is I brought several of these. If anybody wants one, you're welcome. You can just set your camera on it, and
Cool.
they won't kick you out of a museum. I've tested that. And then the other thing, I got another little giveaway too, and I don't know, I got the last camera bag. How many people have more than one camera bag?
I don't have one. I don't have
The
one.
last camera bag I bought come with a little, what's that, a Gorilla Pod?
Oh, yeah.
And I already got one at home, so I brought it to give away tonight. So I don't know how you guys want to go about doing the giveaway, but
Don't want it.
I'll
Already have
I got mine.
Oh, you got yours?
Yeah, I have one too, so.
I don't know, guess a number.
Whatever it is, I got one.
Pick a number and then we can guess it.
All right.
That's an easy one.
Okay, number between 1 and 100.
Okay. 50.
25.
I have
97.
32.
17.
I got one.
76. 75.
21.
The number is 17. Who said 17?
Someone did, yeah.
Oh, right there, yeah. So you got yourself a
Cool.
gorilla pie.
There you go.
But anyways, that's it for me tonight.
Well,
And
thank
you're
you very much. That
welcome
was
to
great.
take a look at anything.
Thank you.
Very interesting.
We'll take a 10-minute break.
Okay, and the bar's open downstairs, if you want to have an adult beverage.
I like the beer.
Right? This, can I?
Yeah, I can do that.
No, no.
So, there's taters and juice things, whatever, put in
How do I
in the box up
eject
there.
this?
I don't like you to have it sitting there.
Oh, there we go.
Whatever you want. It's probably be like a
There we go. Yes.
Yeah, that was full. It's better to be in the bank.
But you send it over, yes?
Yeah, you just deposit it through PayPal. Okay, let me see if I can maybe.
Here.
Yeah.
There's a,
Both sides.
Oh, yeah.
Same one. And the same thing. Right, the whole folder over.
Okay. I just play a little break.
And then whatever software you use.
How do I open those in here?
So, what's your summer?
I'm learning.
You're gonna go ahead to the woods after that weekend.
No, there's nothing.
Yeah.
there was a murder.
Okay.
No, like what?
And then you can set on a slide shift state.
Oh, okay. Well, 4 seconds to use or do you want to?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so expensive. The weather was either too hot, too rainy, or we had to do puppy, Lloyd's dog. She takes up, she was like a little over a year now, a lot of work. But, he worked a lot.
I'll sell my tires.
Next time. I do.
I see money.
Thank you, Yuli. I'm learning as I go.
No, I mean,
Look at that. Always cold. Yeah.
this fast stone is nice, and there was is another one to show slideshows in a really easy way, fun view.
Okay.
So,
I think that this one is the one that everybody liked. The one that we're using.
oh, the fast stone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's free.
Works for me.
$20, right?
Yeah. What I need is to find.
Because I've already had.
No, it doesn't. I look at it. This is the best thing I've ever heard.
Mine's done. I've given up and they actually, I feel my hands suffocating. My nails are too long now, I just, my toenails.
Yeah, it's just a regular.
Has everybody got their 50/50?